I admit I have had an easy life. Well, I have had a few difficulties. Starting to learn Italian in Rome at the age of 33 was a struggle. Here in Hong Kong, some weeks I worked long hours, like everyone else. Even so, compared to most people, I have had a comfortable life. I have always had food to eat, clothes to wear, medical treatment on those rare times that I have been sick. In a violent world like what we have now, I have never visited a combat zone. I have never been a victim of robbery, of armed robbery, and people have never conspired to have me arrested on false charges. Let alone testified for me to have been sentenced to death. On one hand, I'm quite happy to have been spared so many terrors or miseries of life. On the other hand, I wonder if I'm qualified to preach on the gospel, on the readings of today. But anyway, you are expecting me to say something, so I need to go on. In the first reading, Jeremiah was just having another bad day. He wondered how God had treated him into becoming a prophet. He had accepted, when he was young, he accepted a call from God with great enthusiasm. He preached to convert his people, to convert his nation. But his people ignored him. Many of his old friends and neighbors laughed at him, mocked him. Maybe he was tempted to escape, to get away by drinking, gambling, eating or buying, or just running away like many people do today. Certainly he was tempted to shut his mouth, to keep his mouth shut. I will not mention him anymore or speak about him. However, God was not going to just let him go, let him escape so easily. The urge to speak for justice and truth in a violent and dishonored world bothered Jeremiah so much, and it kept bothering him, and so he kept preaching. We are not sure when or how he finally died, but it is written in the first reading that his enemies tried hard to eliminate him. It is not in the Bible, but according to Jewish tradition, Jeremiah was martyred. Sometimes he is called the weeping servant, the weeping prophet of the Lord. It bothered him immensely that this one true God he trusts has so few friends on the earth. When we turn to the second reading, we find that St. Paul, wanted the Romans to discern God's will, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Notice that Paul did not mention the word feeling. He did not say, if it feels good, you do it. No. He even did not advise them or ask them, how does it feel to you? Does it feel it good? No. He did not talk about feelings, but behavior. Not long ago, as recently as a couple of generations ago, at that time people, at least people in Hong Kong that I know, did not talk much about feelings. But nowadays, maybe we have gone from one extreme to another. Instead, Paul focused on behavior, urging Romans to worship God. To worship God in a way to offer their living bodies as a holy sacrifice. Paul admitted that the majority of people in his time in the Roman Empire saw things differently. They were trying to eat, to drink, be merry as often as possible. However, Paul urged the church in Rome to aim higher, to shift their vision from what the world advertised to what God desired. When we do that, some days it will not feel good. Many times it will involve hard work and sacrifice. Perhaps the question, what does God want me to do? Sounds abstract and theoretical. Some people are very quick to talk about God's holy will, especially when it involves telling people what you should do or you should not do. They will say, this is God's holy will. I think maybe we can change a little bit or ask ourselves some of the alternative questions, such as, what do my brothers and sisters need me to do? How can I serve them better? If I do this, in the long run, will it make me worse or better as a human being? There are many things which feel good now and make us happy at this very moment, but will cause damage to ourselves and to others down the road. Eat, drink, and be merry is a poor philosophy for human life with any future in it. Love of God is linked to love of neighbor, not just to the feeling of present moment, but also to thinking about the long-term consequences of our behavior. Have you felt any love in this church? Do you want to pass it on to the brothers and sisters here in the cathedral and to the members of your family? Maybe we need to ask ourselves, how can we serve them better? Maybe you could volunteer yourself for some parish ministry. I hope we all feel some love of God in this city. I hope you have all met people of another faith or without no religion, but working to make this a better place, a better city, to make our work better. Depending on our talents, our interests, and our free time, we can work with them. Everybody, every one of us can do something positive instead of merely criticize or complain. We can work together for the common good. In today's Gospel, the last reading, Jesus tells his disciples to take up the cross and follow him. This is a big theory, a big dogma. But on the other hand, it reminds me of a story, an interesting story of a great doctor of the church, Teresa of Avila. She started to reform her convent and motivate her nuns to live out the gospel fully, more fully, to aim higher, not just to do the bare minimum. As a reward for her efforts, for the glory of God and the purification of the church, she encountered resistance, gossips, headaches, and also frustrations. One day, she saw Jesus in a vision, and she was not in a good mood, so she asked Jesus, "My Lord, how come all this is happening to me? How come?" And Jesus calmly replied her, "My daughter, I let all my friends share the cross that I myself carried." And Teresa, a daughter of the church, a wise woman, a great saint, said to Jesus Christ, "No wonder you have so few friends." Dear sisters and brothers, let us ask ourselves this morning, are we friends of the Lord? Are we disciples of Jesus Christ?